Hey, what's going on? So here's a little recap of some things that I'm going to go over. I'm going to be doing more Loom style videos after this, and I've sent you some of those already, and that's where you can see me on the computer in the corner while I'm talking over the modules. But this is just a quick recap, and sometimes I'll do a video voiceover if it's a very short recap and then send it to you that way. So let's jump right in. So every week I do a mini recap assessment, and that's going over some things that need to be done and updated, and some of your progression chart stats. And I'm actually going to go through your food log real quick. I usually do that separately in addition with the KGF check-in, but I'm just going to do it right now real quick because I actually can't see the foods yet because it's not synced in there. So let's start with on the furthest to the left. So your measurements and body weight and photos will be updated every other Monday. So not every Monday, every other Monday. So if you did it last week, you wouldn't do it this week, and so on and so forth. So if you click on the body weight tab, it'll bring the full menu down where you can see the body measurements. And then when you click on that, it'll give you the specific areas of the body to update. And I only want you to do hips, waist, leg, and arm. There's a ton of other things to do on there on your body, but I just want you to do those 4 things. So your hips are going to be across the widest part around your butt, and your waist is actually going to be the smallest part, a little bit below your rib cage. So that's where to do it, and I'll resend you the picture that illustrates that and shows that, just so you know exactly. That was also in your getting started email, but I'll resend it to you just so you know exactly where to measure, so it's accurate each time and consistent. And then you're going to do your leg, and that's going to be around like the middle part, nothing too high up, nothing too low. And then the same with your arm, it's going to be right around your bicep. So just those 4 things, and I want to see those updated in there, please. That would be awesome. It's super important to see your stats as you make progress and as time goes by, because on a daily basis we don't really notice a lot of the things that are changing because we see ourselves every day and we just don't notice it. So it's a good, amazing way to see exactly what's going on, whether we need to step up our game and refocus, or if we realize that we're doing way better than we thought by looking at our progression charts. So it's super insightful and really fun to see because you get to see exactly what's going on. So moving on, your steps are great. You get about 9,000 steps a day. That's perfect. No worries there. Sometimes people have to focus on that aspect, but you do not. So that's one thing we can kind of rule out as it's all good. And real quickly, I just want to go over your weight. So you're kind of in the same boat as me. I did not have a huge weight loss transformation during the last 10 years of my life. I've always kind of been the same weight, but I had more of a body recompositioning going on. So what that means is your muscle versus fat on your body is your body composition. So what we're doing is you're most likely going to stay in the same weight range. You're not going to drop really low in weight at all. You actually might gain a few pounds, but it's not in solid fat. It's actually going to be with muscle and a tiny bit of fat because they go hand in hand. But your body composition is changing. You're going to be leaning out more, and you're going to be reshaping your body and building more of that muscle. So you're going to stay in the same weight range, but your body composition, your physique is going to be changing with how it looks. So hopefully that makes sense, and you'll see that more as we go and kind of understand, because you'll see it happening. But don't, a lot of people get really hung up on the scale and the weight on the scale. But in your case, I wouldn't even pay attention to it at all, because you're going to be seeing a lot of things changing outside of that weight factor. Okay, so with your food logs, for some reason, it's not showing the actual foods. It's just showing the entries, like the macro total entries. And it's a real easy fix. If you unsync it and then resync it back up into Train Your Eyes, it should work. And then I can really dig deep into a full day of eating and basically just show you where you could add in a few things and where you could maybe double up on a certain food item or do a different portion of. It's all about adjustments and not really cutting anything out. So it's super, super, super educational, and it'll help you in the long run, because after we're done working together, you'll know these things and be able to do it on your own and have that intuitive way of navigating your day with food. And you'll just naturally sit down and make a plate of food and say, you know what, I'm still low on protein today. I'm going to double up on my chicken, or I'm going to double up on my cottage cheese, or wherever you can throw in whatever it is that you need in that day, or do a different portion of. You'll intuitively know that because you will have learned that over this process. So the food logs are not to ever bash anybody or make anyone feel negative or bad. It's literally just to show everybody where they can make the adjustments, and then they know that. They know why, how, where, and what. So, and it's never about perfection. It's never about being perfect every day. Like, for example, if you had a couple lower calorie days where you were around 1,400 calories, which is very, very low. Like, I don't ever want to see you go below 1,700 calories, just because you need the nutrients, you need the calories, you need the macros in order to build muscle and to feel fueled, to feel energy, to feel enough of what you need in the day to feel good. That's what your body needs. But especially to build and sustain and recover and repair muscle. So if you had a couple lower calorie days, but then you had a couple higher calorie days, like going over your macros, it's fine, because it balances out, and you'll start to see your whole journey as like a weekly thing and not a day-to-day thing. So at the end of the week, you can balance out a lot and not think that you have ruined the entire week by 1 or 2 days, because at the end of the week, your calories will average out and balance out to a certain amount if that's how you strategized it. So hopefully that makes sense, and it'll make more sense as we go. So I liked that you had some higher calorie days. Like, that was really awesome, because it kind of makes up for the lower calorie days that you had. But it's definitely great to be more consistent across the board, because then you're not kind of, scrounging last minute to either eat more or, be perfectly on track those last few days of the week. So trying to stay around 1,800 to 2,000 calories is perfect. It doesn't have to be exact. I would say around 2,000 calories. I wouldn't even go below 2,000 calories, but it's kind of like baby steps. Like, instead of just throwing somebody into a higher calorie bracket, it can be scary. It can be unknowingly why. You kind of wonder why, and it can physically be a lot more food to take in. But I want to definitely stay around 2,000 calories, because then you'll be able to build that muscle and sustain it, and you won't lose that muscle. Because we can build muscle, but we can easily lose it if we drop into a low calorie bracket and stay like that. Our muscle just diminishes. So we want to be able to build that muscle and feel fueled and recover and repair and keep that muscle, sustain it. So hopefully that makes sense. And each week you'll have one of these recaps sent over to you. But honestly, great job. Your ambition, your desire, and your participation has been top notch. And even if we get a little behind on some of the tasks that we're supposed to do, it's totally fine because we can catch up and we can realize what we're falling behind on and then refocus on those specific things. So all of the things that we do together during the week are very time friendly, you can fit it in your day just fine. It's nothing that's super lengthy. Like, you will never be sitting there for an hour reading some module or going over something. Super easy, quick tasks. And it's everything always boils down to just getting more organized with things. So it can be overwhelming at first. It can be a lot because it is a lot. But the more we go and get momentum and the more we get more organized with doing time blocks with things, like certain days, certain times, then it'll be like just a part of your week, something that you do, that you fit in, and that you move on from. And the next module will help a lot with that. It's the time blocking module, and it's one of my favorites because it just helps the week and the days and the tasks go by so much more efficiently and just more smoothly. And it's a great thing and exercise to do, and I'm super excited to send that to you next. That will be your next training module. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap it up. I would absolutely love to know and hear back if you want to sign on for 3 or 6 months. I would love to keep training you and keep going with everything and really build some good muscle and go through this process, teaching you how and doing it alongside of you and being there for every part of it. So let me know. We can get going on that this week with jumping all in if you're going to do 3 months or 6 months. Most people end up doing 6 months. But you just let me know either way. And if not, honestly, it's been really nice to work with you. You, like I said, have been very on top of things. You have been very communicative, which is awesome. It's exciting on my part to really have that back and forth connection and interaction with a client, because those are the ones that are going to make progress. Those are the ones that are going to learn the most and have the most progress and results. So it's exciting for me. But either way, let me know, and I hope this was helpful. And basically the only thing to do right now is to update your stats in the app, the measurements and photos, and then resync your MyFitnessPal into Trainerize. And then I will send you over your next training module. And that's it. So if you have any questions, just let me know and we will talk soon. And that's it. All right.